This time on Kawaii-Fi Radio, Aaron gets an earworm stuck in Kyle's head.
After all, he is my dear friend.
Oh, it's never going to leave our heads. And Kyle uses Crusher Joe to mess with Aaron. Crusher Joe, the film was 1983, but the manga started in 1979, and believe it or not, it was 3 chapters. That's it.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Did I just break you?
Yes.
It's over 9,000!
Nani? Configure the language logic interface for Japanese.
Kawaii-Fi.
Kawaii-Fi.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Konnichiwa and welcome. You're tuned into Kawaii-Fi Radio, the podcast we dive into the world of anime, manga, and otaku culture. I'm Kyle, with me is Aaron, and this episode, Mangu is on the menu.
Oh no, we're not offering manga.
No.
That's our Patreon content.
No. Anyway, this episode, me and Aaron are your hosts because it is Wednesday night. I had a bit of an oopsie-whoopsie over the weekend and ended up having to go to hospital on Monday. I'm all good now. Nothing to worry about.
He lost his spleen. There's stitches and everything.
That's not what happened at all. Anyway, this episode we're talking about Crusher Joe. This is an anime from 1983. And
that outdates me.
Yep, me too. It outdates pretty much almost everyone in our friend group.
Yeah, I know the exception. Yeah.
But like, you know, it's old, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I also wouldn't say that it is up to modern storytelling formats. Like, it hasn't aged particularly well, I would say.
Yeah.
At the time, for the type of storytelling of the 80s, it works. Now, not so much. Feels a little bit all over the place. Anyway, if you are new to the podcast, welcome. Hello to all our listeners as well. If you're on YouTube, you can see us waving, all happy and going so. And if you enjoy what we're doing and want more content, Patreon. That's where you can support us. Details down the link description. But before we do anything else, we're going to get started off with what we're watching.
I have no idea how old I am or where I came from. Nani? Ohio.
Hey, guys! I gotta go!
I have to know. Hooray! I did the thing.
Oni-chan, nani wo miru? What we're watching. All right, so
What are we watching, Kyle?
this is the thing. We've watched a lot this season already. So we can tell you that the new Gundam GQUUX is good. We can tell you that Kowloon Generic Romance is good. We can tell you that To Be Hero X is good. That My Hero Academia Vigilantes is good. All of these we kind of knew. A lot of the returning shows like Go-Go Loser Ranger, Apothecary Diaries, still great. The Gorilla Gods Go-To Girl, fantastic, great fun. You look for some gap moe between girls and rock music, Rock is Ladies Modesty, fantastic.
Ninja and Assassin roommates.
Very depressing, very good.
It's only depressing if you look for it.
It's only depressing if you pay attention.
If you don't pay attention, it's hilarious, cute, and funny.
Yeah, but there is one show, and there are others that we're not going to list everything, but there are others. There's another show that we haven't talked about, I'm pretty sure, and that's Yaiba. This is very shonen. This is like heralding 1980s shonen.
Yeah, it's like classic Dragon Ball era.
Dragon Ball, a little bit of Hunter x Hunter vibe, a little bit of Ranma vibe. It's a interesting series because you look at it and you think this has come straight out of like the 80s, and it's not like. Just to be clear, this is not related to Kimetsu no Yaiba or anything like this. This is a Japanese manga series, and it's then been adapted. The manga series ran from 1988 to 1993, and that's why the older style.
Oh, that makes sense.
However, the modern adaptation of it that's been animated by Wit Studios, which is why it's so shiny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, is very much taken that old style and kept it. So it's the same style of character designs, the same style of, you know, the old school hand-drawn artwork, even though it's been done digitally, of course. But yeah, this is... it previously had like a 52-episode anime in 1993.
Oh, okay.
So
they're coming back to it.
yeah, and they're completely starting from scratch. Like they're kind of doing what's happened for Ranma and Uretsu Yatsura as well. Like they're taking like cherry picking the best bits and making a series about it. And I think it's pretty good. Like it's basically called Yaiba Samurai Legend. And it follows Yaiba Kuragane, a samurai boy raised in the forest by his father, who ends up returning to city life in Japan. Yaiba encounters a rival swordsman, Takeshi Onimaru, but when the battle just so happens to end in a stalemate, a humiliated Onimaru is lured into malevolence upon stumbling across a magical katana. Yeah. Now, all this is kind of covered in the first episode and the second episode. It all ends up like leading to like plans to take over the world, and then Yaiba has to stop him, sort of thing.
It's very much traditional for that era's sort of storytelling.
Very
thing.
much. This escalated quickly.
Yeah. Like, haha. It's like the typical JRPG thing. Like, oh, you have to rescue a cat from the roof of this house, and then by the time you get to the end, it's fight God,
Like, punch God in the face.
Yeah.
So this has had, I think at the time of recording, about 10 episodes have come out so far. We're expecting a 12 episode season for it. We haven't seen anything that kind of goes counter to that yet, but hopefully we'll know a little bit more in the coming couple of weeks as to whether it's continuing over the season or if it's coming back as a second core. We'll kind of get a bit more. Either way, it's kind of been like airing in tandem with the creator Aoyama's other anime series, which is Case Closed.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Okay.
What's his name?
I have no idea.
Detective Conan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the artist's name. And I was like, I got no idea. But like, yeah, Case Closed is Detective Conan. Like, that has never stopped running. Isn't that the longest running anime?
It's pretty up there.
Like, if you think One Piece has lasted a while, you should check out this stuff. Like,
Well, One Piece and Case Closed are pretty similar in the amount of volumes. The problem with Case Closed is that technically it stops and starts as a new story. But when you combine them all, you're like, holy cow, that's a lot of episodes. Right? It's insane. But either way, creator is Gosho Aoyama. Well, Aoyama Gosho. And he's 61, so he's been going for a while.
dang, dude.
So good run. He's what's Magic Kaito? Oh, that's hilarious. It's a Japanese manga series where it's his first ever serialization, and it depicts the adventures of Kaito, a teenage magician who secretly operates as the international wanted phantom thief. And I'm pretty sure he has appeared in Detective Conan.
I was going to say, I think that character's appeared in Conan.
Yeah. Like, he'll probably just pull them all in. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
I
you've
mean-
got that long running a series. They did Detective Conan versus Lupin the Third as well. So,
Yeah.
like, similar era sort of stuff. Either way, it's worth checking out. Like, this wasn't one we were like super like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. It was one that we were like, that looks really familiar. I want to have a look at it. And now we know why it looks familiar, because it's case closed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that explains everything.
Things answered. Now, you can't watch it on Netflix. I believe it's also on Crunchyroll in some areas as well. But it's pretty good fun. If you like those old school shonen shows.
It's a blast of nostalgia with like modern animation.
Yeah.
So it's really good at hitting that like childlike feeling, because like when you were a kid, it felt like it was well animated.
Yeah.
So like having it now with that good animation, you're just like, oh, I'm a child again. This is nice. Get yourself a bowl of Cocoa Puffs, just sit there.
They must be nice. Yes.
Yeah. And then forget about your sugar levels and crash.
Yeah. Anyway. So look, I mean, as we said, there's plenty to like this season already, and next season's looking like an absolute blockbuster of returning series. We'll have that. That's going to be our next episode. We're going to be the next season preview. But for now, that's kind of what we're just going to talk about with Yaiba. We'll leave it there because we've got plenty more to talk about next time anyway. With that, let's get stuck into this week's episode's main... Wow, words in order. Who knew? This episode's main topic.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's so good.
It's so 80s. Retro classics.
I'm sorry, did we say 80s? I actually mean 1979.
Dang.
Crusher Joe, the film was 1983, but the manga started in 1979, and believe it or not, it was 3 chapters. That's it.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Did I just break you?
Yes. Because, like, everything that we watch, it's like, it jumps straight into it like everything's pre-established. Like, you know these characters. You've been on 1,000 adventures with them. You know what's going on. Like, what's Princess Elfin's backstory?
I don't know.
Because they're just there like it's nothing. And then, like, the big guy, Talos, what's his backstory? Because,
It's one volume. One volume, 3 chapters released in 1979 as a standalone story. I know, right?
No.
Aaron's like, I wasted all that time.
I dedicated a whole day to this. Come on. Oh.
The least you could do was continue the series for like 5 or 6.
At least, like, backstory specials. Like, that'd be something.
Yeah, this is true. I can relieve you a little bit of it, however. Crusher Joe was also not just a manga, it was actually a series of novels.
Okay. Okay. We can work with that, I guess.
There were actually 13 novels. They ran from 1977 till 2016.
Dang.
So not small, but I couldn't resist. It's like three chapters.
You had me good.
Sorry. So it did start out originally as written work. It actually started when creator Haruka Takachiho Haruka, he wrote this during high school.
Dang.
So first one was written in high school. I think he was like 17 at the time, roughly. And it's it kind of shows. Like, there are definitely some childish elements to it, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's the protagonist especially.
Yeah, the main protagonist is he's a kid.
Yeah.
Like, there's no simple way to put it. He behaves like a child.
Yeah.
Edgy teen.
Yeah, he behaves like a child would put their self-insert, like how they'd behave.
Yeah. Look, Crusher Joe is a good laugh, and it is a time capsule, but it is not what we would call peak anime.
No.
We're not going to stand here and go absolute cinema. You know, like...
I think we just found our thumbnail.
So this anime film was released in 1983. It runs for 2 hours and 11 minutes, which, like, I didn't realize. I thought it was 90 minutes. I am sorry. Aaron's like, you made me watch all of this. And it is rated R18 plus only for mild nudity, but we can update that rating because it's R18 plus for mild nudity plus violence and gore.
Yeah, and science fiction themes? I think that's part of ratings now. Like...
Something like that. Yeah, we're not gonna go that hard. We'll just say potentially impactful themes. Either way, this one isn't for the kids, but it's also not like, you know, something that we would feature for like White Day or Valentine's Day. It's not.
No.
It's not designed to be ecchi. It's just more an element of the times of when this was made.
Yeah, it's an element of the times from when it was made, as well as it's just like it's just part of this like environment in the world. Like, it's casual. It's just, hey, yeah, this is just what's going on. Like, this is people living their lives. We're not just going to magically cover it up. We're not just going to like pretend it doesn't exist. Like, hey, yeah, this is a thing that happens, which is, I think that's good.
I think it's good as well. Like, I'd rather them be more realistic about it, and that was something that I really enjoy. And one of the reasons I keep going back to retro anime is because there's so many different sort of real world stories that they tell in it. Yeah, like, you have a look at how things were handled for, like, I mean, I know it's not a great example, but like Pat Labor. Like, they also do a great job of building the world that it's in, which they do with this. There's a lot of focus on the technology of the time and how it, you know, actually connects with the world they're in, as opposed to just being like, everyone has space lasers. Good luck. You know, like, don't get me wrong, love Space Dandy, but like, Space Dandy doesn't do much to establish how the world got to that point. Especially like, it doesn't need to for the type of story it's telling.
Well, also, Space Dandy does not establish anything other than he's a dandy in space
and breaks the space-time continuum. Euphonium, yeah. But in case you're wondering, the reason Space Dandy's episodes seem weird is because in the first episode they pull on a cosmic string and you're seeing all possible realities. That's every episode. Every episode is a different possible outcome of their life. None of them are connected.
And if you haven't seen Space Dandy, do yourself a favor and please go watch it.
Yeah, it's a good laugh. It's really goofy. So let's talk about what Crusher Joe actually is, because we talked a lot about the background of it. So Crushers are intergalactic jacks of all trades. So they're not pirates. They're kind of like, I guess, like Firefly.
I was about to say exactly that.
Yeah, like freelancers for hire.
Yeah, like you can use them for travel, you can use them to escort things, you can use them like just if you've got a job that needs doing that can be done, ask them.
Yeah. So they'll take on any assignment for the right price, and Crusher Joe heads a small team in these outer space troubleshooters that includes the Cyborg Talus, the beautiful Alphen, and the obligatory kid sidekick Ricky. A routine assignment escorting a cryogenically frozen heiress to a medical facility goes awry when the girl goes missing and Joe and his team are left holding the bag.
You forgot one character.
The robot?
The robot.
Who never is mentioned or talked. Well, he has one
He does
line.
one thing. He does one thing. But like in the intro scene, they like pull him up on the main screen and they give him the background and everything. And they're like, here's the robot on the team. And then nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Are the OVAs include him more?
Little bit.
So yeah, he's the obligatory I have a robot.
Yeah. Well, like there's one where they're dealing with like other robots and he kind of comes into that.
Oh, okay. That makes
So
sense.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, but...
So just to be clear, there are 3 chapters of the manga. There's 3 OVAs technically. There's a film and then 2 OVAs that were quite lengthy. So basically, you know, it seems space pirates are trying to play the Crushers for patsies, and Joe doesn't take kindly to those types of people. He tracks the pirates to their homeworld, because of course he does. So these 4 heroes not only have to rescue their human cargo, but take down the pirates in the process, which involves a heck of a lot of space dogfights, explosions, and good old-fashioned hand-to-hand combat. Look. I've got so many notes on this. I wrote a page of notes.
Oh, jeez.
Because, like, while I was watching it, I just kept having thoughts. And
I'm with you.
yeah, right? So, Crusher Joe, for starters, won the 1983, and this is the film, Animage Anime Grand Prix Award. So, it did well. It's an award-winning film.
Yeah, and I could see that at the time it would have been phenomenal. Like,
Yeah.
given the other anime that were out there at the time, like, that's fair ball.
Yeah. But the other thing that makes me think, and I'm going to check this, but do you remember Galactic Express 999?
Yes.
So not that one, but it's the same guy who did the Daft Punk one.
Yeah, it wasn't a
Galaxy
train?
Express. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Galaxy Express came out in 1979. That's when it was animated. So this has a very similar vibe to it.
Spitting image in style.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Characters look identical
Yeah.
to other characters.
Exactly. Now, the interesting thing is that, you know, there's 4 years between them, but the story predates it. So the style of it was clearly a choice by when they were creating it, going, that is the on-brand style for the moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, obviously, very old film. This is 42 years old as of this episode. Voice acting for Japanese, not awful, but it can be a bit jarring. The volume levels are a bit peaky in parts. English dub.
I watched all 3 in English dub.
So I can let you know that it wasn't actually dubbed until 2000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's when it got its first English release. But it's still not.
It's not
great.
Like it's very classic anime dub.
Like early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, I'm going to yell into this microphone. Oh wow.
Speed racer kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot. So it's not, on both counts, it's not great. Like, yeah, we've heard worse, but we've heard a lot better. It's got a lot of classic slapstick moments to it as well, which is very much indicative of the times, like 1970s and 80s. That sort of slapstick style of comedy was very popular. You think about like the TV shows that we had from there into the 90s, like slapstick comedy in films was everywhere. And it was like, you know, they were like, it is the highest form of comedy when it's actually puns. They're the highest form of comedy. Did you not know?
That's right. And you're getting them for free right here.
Right here. But yeah, it does help offset some of that age of it.
Yeah.
Like it does make it seem a little bit lighter in parts. And like some of the fight scenes are hella goofy, like the fight in the disco.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. But we do have to give credit where credit is due. So scenery is beautiful.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
classic hand-painted cell animation, and this is back in the day where they were doing it, you know, all by hand, high quality, required a lot of effort. There are imperfections, but they add to the charm of it.
Yeah.
The combat scenes, pretty fantastic.
Yep.
And I can tell you why. The team who did the animation for the film were involved in the Gundam franchise before this.
Oh, okay. So they're used to space battles and robots and mecha.
So this was produced at Sunrise, and Sunrise had already started doing Gundam at that stage.
Right.
So that's why you're going to see a bit of similarities there. So there's a lot of fun robot designs too because of this. Like there were robot designs in the manga and mentions of it in the novels, but this is a lot of that robot design language has come from Gundam for the film, which makes sense. The combat scenes are pretty fantastic, both in space and on foot. Like the choreography of the, out of the suits and bouncing around fights like you'd see for, Cowboy Bebop. Like that type of fighting is really well done, I found, and nothing felt repeated, which I think was a big thing.
Yeah, nothing felt repeated, but there were definitely like some fight scenes where they called it in and made the fight a bit cheap.
Yeah.
Like with the lady with the whip and the acid pit. That was very...
How can we end this quickly? Aha!
I know, they'll all pull on the whip.
Yes, one guy versus 6, one guy will win.
Yeah.
Because he's Crusher Joe.
Because he's the main character.
Yeah. He's got plot armor. One thing I did find quite good, the alien flora and fauna were pretty inventive for the time. Like when they land on a couple of planets over the course of the film, and they do make them feel alien. Like the trees and the plants and all the flowers look like they are unearthly, and the animals I wouldn't say they're amazing. Like some of them are just like, we got a bear and we gave it one eye and made it angry.
That's kind of what they do with the OVAs as well, because there's one with like these robots that are called cloakers or something.
Okay.
And they've evolved to be bioorganic because someone dropped an EMP on them and they needed to survive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So like they've got all these fleshy tendrils and like...
That's not so cool.
Yeah. Well, they're essentially floating armadillos.
Okay. Back to cool? I don't know.
I don't know. I'll get back to you on this one.
But yeah, like they do put quite a bit of effort into this, so I'm quite impressed by that. Obviously, they're not going to be as unique as some of the stuff we see in modern series, but that's kind of par for the course with this type of content. Like, the older you get, like, the more limited the ideas are because we haven't had as much cross-pollination of ideas. Now, as every good show starts off with, just as we mentioned with Yaiba, the film starts off low stakes and evolves into something much bigger as it goes on.
Well, yeah, it's also very typical of the era that we grew up in, which was don't trust your governments and fight them.
That's relevant right now, isn't it?
Not looking at anyone in particular.
No.
Definitely not the 52 children in a trench coat posing as an adult.
But, yeah, I mean, like, this is the thing. Like, the 80s loved that storytelling point of, like, don't trust the government. Something dodgy's going on. And, don't trust this person. Something dodgy's going on.
Not everything's how it looks.
Exactly.
Make sure you dig around, find out what the whole picture is before you commit yourself, because you don't want to make a mistake, you don't want to regret it.
Yeah. But the pacing kind of reminded me of Lupin the Third Castle of Cagliostro, the first Lupin film.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like you would have lots of intense moments of action and then a lull, and then the next part would happen and lots of intense action, because Japan doesn't follow the 3-arc structure, especially not back then. So there's about 5 major arcs in the story that happen, and because of that, there's like the rise, the fall, and the rise and the fall, and you get that time to get invested. But the downside of that is it makes it feel really long.
Yeah,
And that's the trade-off. And I think that's why a lot of people settled on that 3-arc structure for film in the West, because it's it keeps people engaged for long enough if the content is compelling. Whereas Japan's storytelling, and if you have a look at traditional Japanese literature, it's the same sort of thing. Like, it does not necessarily go 1, 2, 3. It could go up to 7 in some cases, like, depending on, like, the arc. It's kind of like, and another thing.
Oh, by the way.
So, like, you know, there's a lot of elements to that to it. And this kind of straddles the line of both. Like, because of that, though, as we said, it feels a lot longer than it is. It is only 2 hours and 10 minutes. And I say only, but, like, it's 2 hours. It's not like, you know, the end of the world. But it feels longer because
I got a coffee in the middle of it.
I did too. I was just like, I'll be right back.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Coffee break.
Coffee breaks needed sometimes, yeah. But, like, it's good, but I wouldn't set it as, like, your feature to watch in the evening, I don't think. I think this is something that needs to be, like, taken when you've got a lot of time.
Yeah, like, if I was hosting an anime film festival, I wouldn't be like, oh, and this is our headliner.
No.
I'd be like, oh, yeah, like, this is one of our movies. Like, it's good. Definitely check it out. But it's not, like, the one you should watch.
Yeah, like, if we were comparing this to, like, ones of the same era, so like Akira.
I was about to say Akira.
Yeah, Galaxy Express. Even Patlabor, I would say, has better pacing than this.
Yeah.
Like, and that's saying a lot because, like, we all agree that Patlabor is slow. I like it a lot because I grew up with that style of storytelling, but I understand that it is slow, especially by modern standards.
Yeah, there's a reason why Labor's in the name.
It is a labor of love.
Yeah, it's a labor to get through.
But yeah, like, it's not as quick, and yeah,
it doesn't give you the immediate payoff.
No,
it's like, oh, here's a little bit.
It feels like it could have been 5 episodes.
Yeah.
The more I think about it, the more it's like, we've got the length there.
They could have made it into a season.
They could have. That could have been, like, that plus the 2 OVAs would have been a full season comfortably.
Could have easily done that.
Yeah. But I think the idea was that they wanted to adapt one of the books, and that was it. And by doing so, they had to cut out a lot of content.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that does make sense.
It does. The more we look at it, yeah. So, look, this film's got a lot of interesting parts to it. I want to talk about the disco scene. So this is early in the film. And basically they've gotten busted. They've gotten busted, been told, go home.
Yeah.
Like, how have you ended up here?
No more crushing for you, mister.
Yeah.
By the way, the head crusher is Crusher Joe's dad.
Yeah.
So,
like, it's kind of funny. I feel like he should also be called Joe Senior, Crusher Joe Senior,
Crusher Jojo.
Jojo. Can you imagine if this ties into Flippin' JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
I mean, look, stranger things have happened.
Oh, they have. But anyway, the disco scene, they have, you know, all these things have gone wrong. They go to the disco to drink. So Joe's getting smashed.
Oh, he's getting sloshed.
But he's not as bad as Alphen, who gets written off very quickly.
Yeah.
And then she starts being rude to Ricky, starts being rude to Talos. Then Alphen and Joe go out to the dance floor, and it's a whole thing.
Well, I think it's because, I mean, especially back then, people didn't know how to write women.
They did not.
And Alphen was just trying to impress Joe.
She definitely was.
Those two were criticizing Joe. So she's like, no, I'm on his side.
Yeah.
I'm defending him. Don't worry, Joe. You can rely on me.
Now, for context, Alphen and Joe, after this film, are a couple.
Oh, are they?
Officially, in the canon.
Because it didn't look that way in the OVAs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the books, they are romantic partners.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know what the go is with this.
The timeline.
Because, I mean, like, the outro definitely seems coupley.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah. So they go to this disco. Everything goes awry after a while because Joe gets in a fight because he's drunk and angry and hates the world. And how dare they do this to me? And it's like, bro, just take a chill pill. Just take a chill pill for a minute and think. So,
I mean, it could be.
He is meant to be 19.
Yeah, you're thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
The things we were discussing in the pre-show?
Yes, it's second puberty. No. But, like, he, you know, he starts a fight, and then, of course, the flight escalates to a stupid degree that they end up wrecking the disco.
Yeah.
Like, the whole building.
And even the cops afterwards were like, I've never seen a fight get that intense.
Yeah. I'm sitting there going, it just looks a bit goofy. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
It looks like something from Wacky Races.
Right? Yeah. It's like, and I mean, especially any scene Ricky's in it, because so Ricky, obviously being a 15-year-old, can't drink. So they're in this disco, and Ricky's like swinging from like the lights on stuff, and they're all falling every time you see him. He's like swinging on another light and falls on people, and it's like, Ricky, you're the tech guy. You should know they can't handle humans' weights, and you keep doing this.
Well, I felt like in that scene he was really like Shaggy or Scooby from Scooby-Doo, because like he was just running and hiding, and things were working out conveniently for him.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else was actually doing the work.
Yeah, right. And like you've got Talos, who's like, you know, being like, oh yeah, I'll take a hit. Haha, I actually lied. I'm stronger than you. So it was pretty good. But like it was just really unhinged, and it kind of made me really immediately not like the characters, especially Joe.
Yeah.
It gives you a real bad taste in the mouth because you're like, how childish are you? Like, you're chucking a tantrum. That's basically what's happened, and you fueled it with alcohol and made it worse. So following this, the film actually goes to a drive-in cinema at one point, and this features a film of Kei and Yuri from the series Dirty Pair.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So at this point in time, no anime had been created for it. It hadn't been announced. It'd be another 4 years, I think, until the anime film for Dirty Pair comes out. At this point, the book had only been written. There was no manga.
Oh.
So they didn't even have reference material, and they look perfect. Like, they clearly were like, yep, we're planning to make this in 4 years. We've already drawn the characters. We're good to go. Let's throw them in here. So go buy his other work. Please do it, sort of thing. That was great. So Dirty Pair is written by the creators of Crusher Joe as well. And that was their follow-on. And Dirty Pair was much more successful than Crusher Joe, obviously. At least in the manga and anime format, at least. Novels-wise, they're both kind of on pair. So, yeah. And then you've got, like, the big pirate villains who are the Murphy brothers. Murphy clan?
Murphy family?
Yeah, Murphy family. Yeah. And there's this really weird scene, and it's really on the nose considering the year this was made in, that they had someone go, "All hail Murphy," as a salute. And I'm like, right, well, the Berlin Wall hasn't come down yet. There's still fascism. Okay. So
yeah, but I feel like there's a lot of anime tie-ins to that, especially around that era. Like, it's not the only one to do
it's
that.
not. It's very common. But like, it just kind of was like a bit on the nose at that point. It's like, wow, we're really kind of going for all of the archetypes here, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's easy to make someone the villain if you immediately put them in the shoes of some of the world's most famous historical villains.
Yeah, this is true. And at this point, it would also only be about 40 years since the end of World War II. 1945, 1970. Yeah. So, 35, 40 years. But look, that aside, over the course of the film, I thought Joe was a bit of an ass.
He was arrogant. He's not the best person to be the leader. It should have been Talos.
100%. 100%.
A good leader listens to his team.
Yeah. By the end of the show, I definitely thought he was an ass. I don't like him.
Yeah.
Also, that last scene that they did for the outro with the cars, it just went for too long. And it really felt a bit too cringy. And it also felt like because he doesn't talk at all during this scene. Alphen does. And she's trying to talk to him, and he's like just blanking her. And it's just like, you're
he's disassociated. He's somewhere else.
Yeah.
He's just like,
yeah. It just felt off. Like, I did not like that.
Well, again, it boils down to them not knowing how to write women.
Yeah. Well, they don't know how to write guys either.
Yeah,
Like,
true. They don't know. They didn't know. Well, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah. Yeah. So look, I mean,
They don't know how to write robots either.
they do not. Now, I think we should kind of address this. The reason we decided to go and talk about Crusher Joe is because Crusher Joe has got a second manga called Crusher Joe Rebirth. Now, it recently went on hiatus. Well, not recently, in 2022, and it's just coming back from that hiatus. It is adapting the novels into a manga proper. And that's been running since, quite a while, actually. So it's been on hiatus a few times. It started in 2017, went on hiatus in 2020, came back in 2021, then went on hiatus again in 2021, came back, then off in 2022 and just come back for a while, sort of thing. So this is interesting because we've seen these characters appear over the years in all forms of sort of anime media, especially if you watch like AMVs, like anime music videos such as AMV Hell. Crusher Joe and his team appear in there quite a few times.
Yeah.
However, I feel like the modern adaptation of the novel that these guys have done for the manga is probably going to be better than going and watching this old film.
Yeah, well, he'll have learned a lot more.
Well, he's not involved in it.
Oh, okay.
So the manga adaptation has been done by manga author Yu Hari. So yeah, they're a good author. Like, I don't have a problem with that because they're just taking the information from the Crusher Joe novels and creating that into a manga. So they're working from that. It's a true adaptation.
Okay.
So I think it'll be interesting to see how that goes. If there is anyone who has been like reading the Crusher Joe manga, let us know because we found this really hard to watch. Like I did not have I'm assuming Joe doesn't get any better in the OVAs.
No.
Yeah. So he's an ass.
Yeah. I mean, plus side, there's no women in the OVAs to fawn over him.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did kind of like, and tell me if you got this vibe as well. The lady who they rescue in the film, I kind of got the vibe like she was his mum.
I didn't get that.
There was just a couple of ways she's like, maybe this is to do with the Japanese subs.
Maybe.
But like one of the lines, she was talking about his father and about how, you know, he looked so similar to him at his age, when he was at your age and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, is she like, does she know the dad? Were they intimate? The way she's looking at him
she
is rather
might
motherly.
have known the dad, like, as a crusher.
Yeah.
Because like she was cryogenically frozen for a hot minute.
Yeah, just a hot minute.
But I think because I watched the English dub, and the point I got from it was he was still mad at his dad about everything, and she's like, "You need to learn to forgive your dad," because I think she lost her dad, so she was saying it from a perspective of, you don't know how much time you've got. You need to make sure you forgive him because what he's doing is coming from a place of caring. And you know,
I mean, that came over as well, but
Yeah.
just it felt very much like a motherly conversation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I
mean,
didn't get that.
That's just the vibe I got from it. And then, you know, you had what's her name jumping up all the time,
Alpha.
all jealous. It's like, guys, come on, like I get it. Like 1980s, that was the vibe at the time, but. Oh, no. So, look, I don't know if we can say watch it. This is the thing. Like, if you want to see a time capsule of 1980s shonen, then have a look.
Yeah.
You know, like...
It's got cool jet fights with lasers.
Yeah, like, if you like Gundam and you're there for that early Gundam aesthetic, then yeah. Yeah, do it. But, like, if you were going to go, in my opinion, and look at, like, a 1980s anime as a hallmark of it, the ones we've already talked about are better. Like, Galaxy Express 999 is technically 1979, so it's not technically 80s, but it's, you know,
Close enough.
spiritually the same style. Like, the style doesn't just change because the decade ends.
Yeah. It was there for more of the 80s than the 70s.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just like me. I was there for more of 80s than the 70s because I wasn't alive in the 70s.
Yeah, I was going to say samesies, bro. Actually, not even... Well, technically...
You were there for a hot minute.
Blink of an eye.
Yeah, right. But like, yeah. So if you do want to visit the story, I would actually suggest going and doing the manga Crusher Joe Rebirth, just because that's adapting the entire story and you will get introduced to the characters properly. This just kind of throws you in, and
It expects you to know everyone.
Yeah.
It expects you to know their dynamic and not question anything. And like, the movie's about questioning things.
yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, this is who the characters are. Don't worry about it. By the way,
Don't worry about it. We can get back to that later.
yeah, like you're sitting there and you're like, Talos looks kind of dodge. Maybe I shouldn't judge him. Maybe I shouldn't trust him. And then the dad knows Talos, and then it turns out he's like a cyborg man.
So
And
that's why his skin's grey and he looks half dead. Like, you know.
yeah, like.
There's a lot to it that makes you question all of the characters in it. And I wouldn't say anyone in this show is perfect.
No, not by a long shot.
Not by a long shot. Like, Ricky is probably the least blameable character.
Yeah.
And even then, Ricky ain't great. But if you want to find out about it, you can have a look at the manga Crusher Joe Rebirth, which is in Kodansha's evening magazine, so it should be in the Kodansha app as well. But yeah, I think that's where we'll leave it, because like I can't tell you where to watch this because there's actually nowhere to stream it. We had to find it on DVD. Discotheque Media released it a few years ago. So, there is Blu-ray releases now. Huh.
I was going to say, eBay's usually your friend. But
yeah, Blu-ray release in 2020 for both the movie and the OVAs, but the DVD release, which we had, is the one from 2017. So, yeah, I think the Blu-ray releases will be better scaled, so fingers crossed, Either way.
There's not that much quality to look at.
I mean, yeah. Like, look, if you work from the original film to scan it in, you can get pretty good quality.
Yeah.
If they're just upscaling the DVD, not so much.
You know what they did.
Yeah, we know what they did.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Tonight on Anime Communique.
Great story, compelling and rich.
Nothing brings ratings up like a little controversy.
All right. That face says we've got controversy.
Oh, we've always got controversy. First controversy, because there's two.
Uh-oh.
Crunchyroll has added gatekeeping to its crimes because it's added the anime series Gatekeepers to its platform. It's an anime series from 2000, and you can stream it subbed.
Is that a controversy?
No, it's just I thought it would be funny to say they were
Dang it,
gatekeepers.
Kyle. I was going to say, because we genuinely had an issue with Crunchyroll this week.
We did. Actually, yeah, we can actually talk about that. So you could not create a new account.
Yeah.
That was a whole...
It's a common occurrence,
Yes.
and apparently it's been a common occurrence for the last few years.
Yeah, that checks out.
So, good job, Crunchyroll.
Yeah. Anyway, you can now watch Gatekeepers, which is a 2000 anime. It's 24 episodes in length. The sequel had OVA Gatekeepers 21, which launched in 2002, and it had 6 episodes. It's based on a visual novel for the PlayStation from 1999. So that's the joke. Anyway, let's talk real controversy. Raise your hand if you've seen the live-action Chopper for One Piece. Because, that's...
Look, it was a hard ball to play.
It was going to be hard.
Like, it's better than the first iteration of Sonic we got.
Oh, yeah, look, it's better than, like, Crack Sonic.
Yeah.
Crack Fox.
Yeah.
It's just not great.
It's not great, but it's not bad. Like, I feel like while we're watching it, we'll get used to it.
Yeah.
But it's just at the moment, because he was on his own, like, it felt very removed and detached.
I also did not like the voiceover. Like, hey, Chopper, come on. It's just like, it felt so forced and fake.
Yeah, no, the voice that was talking to Chopper,
Yeah.
did not dig it.
Did not dig.
Chopper's voice, good job.
Because, yeah, the voiceover was from...
Luffy? Yeah.
But it was just like, it had clearly been recorded in isolation.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, Michaela Hoover is voicing Chopper in the English version and also providing the facial capture for the character. So, they're using the facial capture animation to then animate Chopper's face. We'll see how that pans out. It could be, look, maybe they'll refine it a little bit more from here.
Yeah.
Because the overall reaction online has not been good, and they've still got till 2026 until the next season comes out. So they could refine it a bit, maybe pull a Sonic. But it's... Look, it's not great, but it's not terrible.
Yeah.
But I would not go out of my way to recommend this as a style that you should go for if you were doing a CG character.
Well, Oda's very hands-on with the live action.
He is.
So I feel like this
He did just take another couple of weeks off the manga, so this is probably
Yeah.
what it's for.
Yeah. Well, like, because all of the actors, he's like, this is exactly how I've pictured this character in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he was there doing every single tweak for Chopper.
Yeah.
So this is his vision of Chopper.
Yeah. I mean, like, I am giving him a hard time, but, like, Uncanny Valley is so uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, I think that's the issue.
Yeah.
Because, like, we know what he should look like.
Yeah.
And he looks very realistic instead of very anime.
Yeah.
And so because there's that detachment.
I mean, not even anime, like even manga-wise, like I don't know, like it might be because I'm so far into the story now that I don't remember when we first met Chopper.
Yeah, Chopper was very different when we first met him.
Like he's very different now in the story compared to what he was in like the first few chapters when you met him on the island. But it's a weird one.
It's just one of those things we're going to get used to.
Yeah, it is. But
After all, he is my dear friend.
Oh, it's never going to leave our heads. Okay, so look, that's expected to air next year. It should be pretty good all up, like based on the original one. It was good.
Yeah, no, the original one was incredible. Did you watch the dub or the sub?
I watched the English dub.
I watched Japanese because it had the original voice actors doing the voices. Yeah, did you not know that?
No, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, all the voice actors in the live action are the Japanese anime voice actors.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was it good?
So good.
Oh, fair. Okay, cool. I mean, like,
might have to re-go.
Yeah, fair enough. The second season did begin production last July, so July 2024, and they wrapped production recently. It's going to cover everything up to the Drum Island arc, so Logtown, Reverse Mountain, and Twin Cape, Whiskey Peak, Little Garden, and Drum Island. Drum Island obviously being the one where Chopper gets introduced, I believe.
Yeah.
So, and that arc is bigger than the rest of them. The rest of them are kind of little stopovers.
I mean, the arcs get a lot bigger from there.
Yeah, I think actually thinking of this, we should run into the Giants in this season then.
Yeah.
So that'll be. I want to see how they're animated as well.
Well, they might skip over them because they did skip over a lot.
Yeah.
It's sort of just touching on the core bits on the way through.
Yeah. So we do have quite a long list. Oh yeah, Dory and Brogy are listed. They've got actors for them. So we have quite a long list of people who have been added for this season. It's not a small cast. It's a big cast. So yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what you get with One Piece. There's so many characters. I mean, Oda himself has said he doesn't even remember all the attacks he's used. He has to use the One Piece fan wiki to look at what the moves were.
That's right, he does. He's like, I don't have time to go back and read.
Yeah, so he just goes to the wiki and goes, what does this character do again? Oh, yeah.
Cool, good.
Well, I mean, at least it's consistency, because then he's like, hey, yes, I can check that without having to either rack my brain or make it up.
This is true. All right, well, let's move on from One Piece to something a little less, controversial.
Intense.
So we did have, this was all announced at the Netflix Tadum event, and there's been a couple of other things unveiled there. So Studio Orange, who did the recent Trigun and did Beastars, they've unveiled Leviathan, an alternative history anime, which is going to debut on Netflix on July 10. We'd heard bits and pieces about it, and now it's got the official release date. This is, again, using their sort of hybrid CG technology. It's set in 1914 on the eve of war, and a prince on the run encounters a girl dressed in boys' clothes on a bioengineered airship known as the Leviathan. So it kind of looks like a whale that's flying with guns mounted on it.
Hell yeah.
It'll be interesting. Lands on July 10, exclusively on Netflix worldwide. I think this will be interesting. It might not be great, but it'll be interesting.
It'll be worth a peek-see.
We also finally have some news on the finale towards the end. Well, getting towards the end of Sound Euphonium. So Sound Euphonium, the final movie, part 1. Yeah. The Japanese title indicates 2 or 3 parts. Scott unveils a spring 2026 debut. If you haven't watched Sound Euphonium, it's about a brass band and the girls and boys involved in it. Predominantly the girls, the focus of the series, but there are male characters as well. It's opening next spring in 2026. The first part is called Zaishi Gakusho Hibiki Euphonium Zenpen, indicating the project will have 2 to 3 parts based on the way that's kind of worded. Either way, an earlier teaser described the film project as a theatrical version of season 3. So then I'm guessing the final story will then cover in the next 2 or 1. Either way, we'll see. It's been a long time coming. This originally started out with, from memory, it was animated originally by Kyoto Animation, I believe. I'm going to double check that. Yeah. Kyoto Animation did the theatrical release, and then they had Euphonium, the movie Our Promise, A Brand New Day, which was in 2019, which was also a recap of the second-year students during the story. The chronology is a bit weird. Just watch the actual anime, and then you can watch the films, if that makes sense. Now, let's move on to something interesting that's happened. So, Haigakura is an anime that's been running this season. Very beautifully animated, very popular, but they've delayed episode 8 onwards.
Oh.
And they are going to then not this season. This was in November last year. Mm-hmm. They're restarting the anime from its first episode on July 3rd. So it's going to run in this next new season. It's a very pretty anime. I'm not going to lie, it's the classic silly, on a journey to find myself sort of style of writing for the synopsis. So, on a journey to find ourselves with captured family and a missing past, Ichio Akashi battles alongside Tenko to regain what's lost. The immortal realm. Immortals and humans dwell in a world on the verge of collapse. Ichio and Tenko search for the key to salvation. The four perils who hold this land together. It's based on Shinobu Takayama's popular manga. It's action fantasy. It's
done.
Yeah. Look,
We've done it before.
We'll
do it again.
The art style is very pretty, and a lot of ladies liked the two-boy dynamic. So,
okay.
Yeah. Either way, that's coming back on July 3rd. Now, let's go on to more exciting news. Kaiju number 8. So, season 2, unfortunately, is not debuting until July 19th. However, the side story episode that debuted with the film is going to air on July 5th. So we are going to be able to see that without going to the cinema, which is good, because it's a good, goofy little story. That was Hoshina's Day Off. So we should probably be getting that digitally at the same time on Crunchyroll, I would imagine. Also, Kaiju number 8's manga is ending in 2 chapters.
Dang.
Yeah. So next chapter's June 20, and that'll be the 129th chapter will be the final one. So it's a good run. It hasn't overstayed its welcome. I'm guessing they must be running very quickly through their storyline. I don't hate that. I don't want to spend 300 chapters if I don't have to.
Yeah.
Just... Hey, who wants to take a massive dump on Rent-A-Girlfriend? Because I do. 380 chapters, and the guy just got rejected. Again.
Spoilers.
No, I'm spoiling it for you. Don't waste your time. I can't believe this rubbish of a joke is still going. Don't read Rent-A-Girlfriend. Either way, Kaiju number 8.
How far did you get?
Fast period. I got up, I think I got like 130 chapters, 140. And I got to the end of the Girlfriend in Paradise arc. I can't remember what it is, but it was 50 chapters long and nothing amounted.
Yeah.
It's like, are you kidding me? I know what's going on. The mangaka is in love with the main character girl, and he literally posts pictures of himself on dates with the character. Like, his wife is concerned. He's got a kid.
He has cutouts.
Yeah, he's got cutouts. It's really weird. He just doesn't want it to end. That's all it is. He's got an NTR fetish. That's what's going on.
Well, now she's single.
Funny you mentioned that, because someone also mentioned that one of the characters who's a background character as part of her workplace looks a lot like the mangaka. So that's what I suspect is going on. Don't read Rent-A-Girlfriend. Read something better.
Don't read Rent-A-Girlfriend. Actually go to Japan and rent a girlfriend for a day.
I still wouldn't even do that.
I'd say it's a cultural experience.
It'd be a cultural experience, but you need to be able to speak Japanese.
Yeah.
And if you're at that point already, then you can probably just go over there and have a good time anyway.
True.
So anyway, back to the good manga. Kaiju number 8 ends in 2 chapters. Sounds like the story's gone really well. It's going to be the 15 volumes total by the sounds of it. No. 15th compiled book landed on March 4th, so it might actually be more. Also, if you are looking to read it digitally on the Manga Plus service, it's under the title Monster Number 8 instead of Kaiju Number 8, which is technically a direct translation, but there you go. Either way, 2nd season, July. Manga's coming to an end. Hopefully that means 3rd season done. So, yeah.
Maybe 4.
Maybe 4. We'll see. Now, let's talk manga, because there's actually been a lot of manga news. So Titan
Manga?
Titan Manga has licenses the Ryoichiro Kezuka's Record Journey manga. Now, I haven't heard of Titan Manga before, but they have been licensing the first volume of the manga, and it's now available for pre-order on Forbidden Planet in the UK. It'll be available at other North American retailers. Now, my understanding is they are an external licensor outside of Japan, and they are looking to kind of step into the market where Viz Media is as like a reseller. So like get it, translate it, sell it on sort of thing. But this looks beautiful art style wise. So this manga it's for the first time in English. Who knew? Except for all the fan translations. Experience Record Journey Volume 1, a captivating collection of short stories by Riichiro Kezuka that explores the quiet, powerful intersections of music, memory, and everyday life. At the heart of these stories is a young woman working in a small record store in Tokyo. Each story introduces a new visitor to the shop with a unique past, a specific record in mind, and an emotional thread waiting to be uncovered. And as the needle drops, so do the walls between strangers, revealing bittersweet moments, long-lost connections, and the smoothing healing of sound.
That sounds sweet.
Yeah. So it's a cool idea. The artwork for it is beautiful. The main one that they have for it is just her standing in the record store, which almost looks like a train carriage with how tight it is. I'm a big fan of these kind of like, exploratory stories where they're like, sure, it's all shorts, but it could be quite good. They could be interesting and things that stick with you. Like Suradera Children was one example, which was just like all these different couples at a school.
Well, that exact image reminds me of the bookseller, was it Honda?
Oh.
The skeleton.
Yeah.
That image, just that screams the exact same as the promotional image for it.
It does. Now, moving on, Viz Media has revealed releases for quite a few manga, including the latest manga from the creator of One Punch Man and Mob Psycho 100. It's called Bug Ego. Character looks kind of a little bit like a cross between Mob and Joker from Persona.
Okay.
Floofy hair, headphones around the neck and all that. It's a new series. 2 students find hacks that change reality, but it takes only one misstep to cause a catastrophe. So, kind of interesting idea.
I mean, that's kind of what happens when you exploit bugs.
Yeah, exactly. Like the super psychic policeman Chojo at West Shinjuku Police Station. Ippongi realizes her new partner, Chojo, uses his psychic powers to do everything other than work. Together, they turn the police force into a farce. It's a comedy. So there's that. Magical Girl Dandelion. Magical girls and fiends are enemies, so can Tanpopo's secret friendship with the fiend Shade survive after she becomes a magic girl? Sakamoto Holidays, which is a Sakamoto Day spin-off. Kill some time with Sakamoto as he solves neighborhood crimes in this Sakamoto Day spin-off.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
I'm down for anything Sakamoto, I'll be honest.
Yeah. There's a new Junji Ito story collection coming. There's The Mortifying Ordeal of Being Seen.
Relatable.
Being sexy can be mortifying. So who will be the first to tap out in this battle of flirtatious gazes between the smitten seatmates Iguchi and Ikazawa?
Not relatable.
Not relatable. Being sexy is so mortifying. Yes.
Well, I meant like, yes, I don't want to be seen. And then it's like, oh, yes, they're super attractive. Nope.
Yeah. There's Princess Mononoke film comic is coming as well. This is getting printed out as an all-in-one edition. This is something they started doing a few years ago. It's a full-color film comic. So they take screenshots, basically, of the film, and then they put subtitles and text and boxes into it and stuff.
Okay.
So it's an interesting approach. I don't know if I'm comfortable with... I wouldn't read it. I just watch the film.
Yeah, it feels like taking a shortcut.
Yeah. But, if it's a way to help Studio Ghibli get a little bit more money, then I understand it. Like,
do they really need more money? Really? I thought they would have been like ahead in everything.
You'd think so, but like... I'll be honest with you, licensing deals are not what they should be. Yeah. There's also like a few other interesting ones coming out that are a bit darker. So, well, firstly, you'll be excited to hear this. Itchy the Witch is finally getting its English release.
Yes.
So that's physical. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Purple Smoke Distortion novel
yeah, the
is
side
coming
story
out.
of Fugo.
Yep. There's Shadow Eliminators, which is a Viz Media digital exclusive. Something to do with... monsters born of human negativity in it.
That's so many different series.
Yeah, it kind of vibes with that. There's Green Greens, which looks like a sports one for golf. 2 on Ice, which is ice skating. Yep. Beat and Motion, it's a musician where a girl meets Nico, his favorite musician, a guy meets Nico, his favorite musician. They team up unaware they'd already met before. And like, there's a lot coming out. And 7 Seas also have listed all of theirs coming out. I won't go through all of them, but one that I would suggest keeping an eye on is called Tonight I Have a Date with a Serial Killer. And it's dark and brutal and broody, and the artwork for it is just stunning. The girl's lying on the bed. There's purple blood splatter on her instead of red, with all knives stuck into the wall behind her.
It's psychopop, like Danganronpa.
Yeah, exactly. So that one will be very good, and there's quite a lot coming through there that are more light, fluffy stories. But yeah, that's kind of like the big stuff that's coming out over at 7 Seas. That's kind of it. Like, and you can tell I was kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel for this episode. Yeah. There's not been a lot of news. This week's obviously changed a little bit, and I haven't checked in the last couple of days, but normally like 2 weeks before the new anime season, news ticks up again and runs for about 8 weeks. Then it slops down for a bit unless something major happens, like a anime convention or a festival. We're just at that point in the year where it's a bit quiet. That's kind of it for the news, so we might as well wrap up.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Well, that's where we're going to leave things for this episode. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Next time, the summer anime season is upon us, and it's a big one. There's a lot of returning shows. There's some interesting looking new shows. And there's some weird looking shows that Aaron's really interested in that we'll share next time. Yeah! Now, if you've enjoyed what you've heard, we'd love you to hit that subscribe button and obviously give the thumbs up and all that good stuff. Join us for future episodes. This episode, the subscribe button has a Crusher Joe behind it.
Oh, I was going to say a crushed can.
That's what he do. So, if you would like a mini Crusher Joe in your life, you can click that button and use your elvish eyes to copy it to your 3D printer and print it.
Just keep him away from the booze.
Yeah, don't leave him in the cover with the booze. You will come back to a mini drunk.
Starting a fight. Because he's mad at his dad.
Yeah. Now, if you are listening on YouTube, hit the like button too. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. If you've watched Crusher Joe, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you tapped out after 15 minutes and went, I hate the guy. Like, you know, fair. So, like, you know, we're not saying this is necessarily one that should be on like your to watch of all time, but it's certainly an interesting sort of look back at the storytelling that we had in like the early 80s. And, you know, there's a lot of anime at that time that we still haven't touched on, and there's a lot that we can probably cover in the show in the years to come that there's a lot. There's a lot.
Well, also it breaks up like a lot of what we've got today by having that like look back and seeing that and then going back to what we've got today.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you need that change of perspective.
I mean, watch... actually, if you were going to watch this, watch the current airing Gundam.
Yeah.
And then go back to Crusher Joe and see how you feel about the contrast of the storytelling. Because current Gundam's very different.
Oh, so different.
Like different from all Gundam, because this time you've got Anno from Neon Genesis directing this one.
It's very pretty.
It's very pretty. And it's literally like a greatest hits of Gundam, Gainax, and even Studio Trigger as well. So, like, it's good. Like,
if you keep your eye open for Easter eggs, it'll pay off.
Yeah, they're chocolatey and delicious and not hid behind a subscribe button. That's where Crusher Joe hides.
Yeah, he ate them all.
Yeah. Now, as always, big thank you to our Patreon members. If you do want to support the channel and get access to additional content such as the pre-show podcast, which is a whole other episode about us talking trash before the show, outtakes, video extras, follow the links in the episode description. We've also got one exclusive podcast episode on there, and we've got more in the works as well. The Patreon's starting to get pretty hefty content-wise, so it's worth a look, and you can do that for as little as $1 a month to join. You can also follow us there for access to major show updates and changes, and then the socials, we're on them, just not the the one that's owned by Elon. So that's it. Yeah.
The one that's always changing its name.
Yeah.
We're also not on Truth Social.
No. Oh, truth. So yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and Discord. Unfortunately, it's all meta, but you know what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
You gotta play the game.
We got zucked.
Oh dear. Anyway, that's where we're going to leave it. We'll see you in week and a half's time. You've been listening to Kawaii-Fi Radio. Thank you so much for joining us, and until next time, watch some anime. Let's go crush a cold one with the boys.